Hello everyone and welcome to the Brazilian Grand Prix.
On the front row, we have Alex in pole position yet again for Think Again. Alongside, it's Mia Hart in the Pentacoron. Very impressive qualifying result from her.
In third, Elle, still yet to see the checkered flag, but still very good in qualifying. Lewis has outqualified Daniel for the first time in his career, has been looking strong this season. Let's see if he can continue that run of form.
Fifth place on the grid is Mia for Alfa Romeo, one of her best ever qualifying results. And in sixth place, Maggie in the Polite Puffin's car.
The other Alfa Romeo of Alp has had another good start. Or qualifying, and is looking to capitalise on a position of 7th. Our championship leader is Daniel in 8th. Decent qualifying for them. They are looking to improve it.
In other positions, we have Greg, our winner of the first race, down in 11th place, but they've had better race pace than qualifying pace this season.
They have 5 lights. It's a long hold. And away we go here in Brazil. It's a decent start from everyone, really.
Good start from Elle.
Yes, Elle round the outside into the center S's in turn 1. Lewis gets past Elle in turn 2.
That's a big move for Lewis, and Greg up 3 places from their lowly grid place.
Dan
and they're challenging Dan already.
Well. Dan gets through on Mia. Both Alfa Romeos with a poor start there. So let's see Greg start on board. So that's Jack, the 2 Jacks ahead. Gets a very good reaction. Just pulls away from them. And then just the second phase just gets a lovely drive past Alp. Let's see the battle here with Dan.
At the start of the Retro Foster, it looks like Greg has a really good exit on Dan, but Dan is so good in the second phase and gets the slipstream off Mia.
Yeah. So Greg also gets a slipstream on Mia, but just doesn't have the room to move to the inside. They're coming back live. Will Mia, well, I wouldn't say hold up Greg, but will Mia prove difficult to overtake? Elle is really holding up this train. Of course, their teammate Ileana qualified a very disappointing 21st.
It's going to be interesting to see.
Second back from Lewis.
Can Maggie get a good enough exit off Junsao, the last corner, to have a good run up the hill against Elle? It looks like that put us as quick as ever down the straights.
That is going to be an issue.
I think Lewis getting past early.
Meanwhile,
is
Greg
prove
having
critical.
a move on Mia into 1. Gets past before the corner. Jack Coffey getting past Alp.
Alfa Romeo just falling down the order.
Michael's engine's gone. Michael's engine has gone already.
Before the race hardly started.
Yeah. Very disappointing. Pulls off neatly to the side there. Alex was just trying to get past Ben. Scott Evans doesn't quite manage it. Bit of a gap back to ahead to Jack. The Alfa Romeo's not looking to have good pace so far, but they could be going heavy on fuel. We've seen it before from them.
And with everyone in front being held up by Elle, like, they could still be in a good position if they've got more fuel than them.
Yeah, that yellow flag is Michael retiring, as Lewis is right on the back of Mia H. Good run off Junsao. Squeezed a bit to the inside, but might get the position into the center S's.
Is he better on the brakes? Mia's late on the brakes.
Ooh, might have a better run as Greg gets past. And Maggie does overtake Elle. Mia Hart stays ahead. Maggie clear of Elle now. So
will Maggie be able to chase down the leading three?
Daniel's biggest beneficiary right now. As Jack Gray gets past Mia. The 2 Alfa Romeos just at the back of this leading group, as the ones behind seem to have spread out a bit. Alex leading by 2 seconds now.
The question is, if Lewis can get past Mia Hart, will he be quicker than Alex? Because I think this Frozen Light definitely has much better pace than what it's showing right now.
Well,
of course, we saw in Bathurst, Lewis was contending for the win before he broke down.
My question is Daniel on a heavier fuel load than Greg?
Given their starting position, it would make sense.
Given that Jack Coffey is now challenging Daniel, it would definitely make sense.
I think it definitely looks like, of the 2 Frozen Lights, either Lewis is the quicker one, which seems unlikely, though he was quicker in qualifying,
yeah.
or Dan's got more fuel.
Nice defending from Dan in the Center S's.
And the 2 Alfa Romeos going side by side in the Center S.
Stays ahead. Up ahead, Greg still not managing to get past L. Jack Gray catching up to the back of this. Mia and Alp continuing to battle. As Chris R has gone off in turn 4.
He was right in that train that Ben Scott Evans was holding up.
Yeah, what was there collision with Daisy?
Seems to pulled away from that. Daisy
no,
sends it right
just a
down
lock up from Chris. Lock up from Chris. Meanwhile, Greg has got past L. How did that happen in the middle of the lap?
Has Al made a mistake, or is that an incredibly ambitious move from Greg?
L goes a bit wide, and Greg just gets a perfect run.
Looks like he has so much more grip in that car.
L not helping out Dan there. You know, Lewis possibly has another one off Jinsao, as Alex leads by 4 seconds.
With Maggie and Greg not far behind, like the urgency for Lewis to get past here is increasing.
That looks like a much better run this time.
He's way further alongside. Mia Hart's good on the brakes though.
Doesn't go around the outside of 2. Oh, Dan's still defending from Jack Coffey. If Jack is on a light fuel load, this will really annoy. Because the Frozen Light has just more power, but Jack goes through.
And that's gonna potentially leave
very
a run for...
slow.
I think if they don't have at least 18 laps of fuel on board, then
yeah,
Dan's
they
gonna
could
be
be
feeling
one
pretty bad about
stopping
their
to
pace.
a lot of others 2 stopping. But the Alfa Romeos could also be one stopping with them.
I think they surely are, given how many places they've lost.
Bromwell having a decent race.
Both Alfa Romeos were slow off the grid, and that suggests a heavy car to me.
Was Elise involved in an incident at some point, I wonder? We just had a yellow flag, I think.
Is that a small spin? Everyone going through Sector 2, and it looks like the car that was in last place.
Ah, Chris went, yeah, Chris had another spin.
Off at Ferradura.
Yeah.
This is
Those
not a good
tyres
start
are
to
not
Chris.
treating him well. Back live now. Greg challenging Maggie. As up ahead, Alex pits!
That must be a technical problem. That's far too early.
It's a loose wheel for Alex. That puts
So Lewis is now our
into the
race
lead.
leader.
What happened to...
Mia Hart. She's dropped behind Greg. Mia Hart now down to 4th place.
Yes, what happened here? Oh yeah, I lost track of her for a second.
Did Mia Hart lose out when Alex pitted?
So,
Like, was she trying to go for that line? Alex clearly has a problem at this point.
yes! Defends the inside, and then just everyone else has a massive run off Jinsao.
That's so unfortunate for Mia. She couldn't have... Well, she probably should have seen that coming, given the way Alex was slowing up, to be honest. But
if you've already committed
still
to
not what you
defending
would
the
expect.
inside, you know, Elle was battling Jack Coffey, who does seem to have a good amount of pace.
So with Alex's problem, this is a completely different race now. Like,
It
any
really
one of the
is.
top 8 could win this.
I think, yeah, Greg gets through into second, past Maggie. I'd
With the
say
rapid
right
progress.
now, it's probably Greg versus Lewis. Or just Greg, as Lewis spins off.
Lewis spins.
Yes. I had less of a reaction to that than I maybe should
That's a
have.
very strange place to have an accident. Like,
No, it was going off the outside and then overcorrecting. Yeah, locked up the front
yes,
right
that's
and
similar
then
to what Chris
overcorrected.
did.
Yeah, but Chris handled it much better. So that will also drop Lewis out of the running. That's a real shame based on his qualifying position.
The advantage that Chris had, of course,
There
is
goes
that he didn't
Alex,
have to
in
wait for
fact.
anyone.
And there goes
Well,
Chris.
we've seen Lewis come back from this position to the podium before. Had that very impressive race where he collided
Maggie
with
now
Alex, or Alex
leads.
collided with him early on.
How has Greg gone down to 5th? What? Where?
So Greg was second place.
So after
was
Lewis goes
leading
off, while we're watching Lewis, Greg locks up as well. Oh, that looks nasty, but keeps it going nicely. Stays ahead of Dan. So Maggie
Be
now
lucky if he
is our
hasn't damaged
race
the underside
leader.
of the car. This is the most confusing race.
Mia Hurt 2nd, Elle 3rd, Jack Coffey 4th, Greg 5th, Dan 6th, Jack
And
Gray
if the Alfa
7th.
Romeos are one stopping, they're in the background of this leading picture,
Yeah,
and they haven't really dropped back. So they're in a great position too.
yeah. This is so many tight battles at the front here.
I have absolutely no idea who's even in contention for the win here, and I don't think we will until the pit stops start.
I mean, obviously we have to consider Maggie.
Absolutely, she's pulling away. Mia Hart's just about sticking with her.
Greg
but...
definitely isn't out of this.
Oh, not a chance. He's still one of the favourites. Do you think he made that mistake in surprise of what Lewis had done? Because obviously he missed his braking zone immediately after Lewis's spin in front of him.
I think with the car going across like that, he was trying to take a wider line to make sure that he wasn't collected. And
Here's
just
Jack
overcorrected
Gray,
it.
right in the battle with Dan.
Jack Gray, I believe, the only car running the Omega tyres.
Lap 8, and the top 7 are covered by just 3 seconds. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Exactly 3 seconds as well.
Alfa Romeo's again going side by side down the Retroposta.
Alex sets the fastest lap after his pit stop, but that's not
I don't
surprising.
think Alex is out of contention of this either, for what it's worth.
Depends on if he could take an early stop and it doesn't horribly mess up his strategy.
I think
L going wide.
If he's planning...
Mia Hart is past Maggie. Maggie! Oh, there's a big crash! Maggie is out. We've seen this mistake before.
Leading on pace for the first time.
So overcorrects there. Just gets too aggressive into the next corner, and that is not a long run-off.
No. No, we've definitely seen people make that mistake before. It's
So Mia,
easily
it's a
done.
pentacle run 1-2. Right now.
I don't think they were expecting that today. L is not lacking in race pace today. We've seen the Panus have that issue before, but L is sticking right with the leaders.
Greg still trying to get past L. Don't forget, L could be on a high fuel load.
Is Greg going to do it under braking?
It's hard to be more aggressive on the brakes than L.
Absolutely.
That's a nice bit of defending, actually.
That might compromise Greg's run off the next corner and give Dan an opportunity.
Yeah. Definitely gained a second in that sector.
The Pentacorns are loving seeing these three battle, because like every time they go for a move that doesn't quite work, they just get further up ahead.
They have to focus on their own races, though.
I don't think anyone knows quite who their own race is with. It's L wide.
Yes, as off is Alex Woodger, who's crashed. That looks like... Was it a technical problem? Yes. So Alex Woodger had a technical problem already. That looks
Very
like a rear
unfortunate.
left suspension failure to me.
The one Ripper car in this race is out.
Rip. So, Dan now behind L again. Can Greg...
Something to point out,
It was a
Jack
puncture.
Coffey Jack Coffey is catching Mia Hart. I wonder if there's going to be any
Yes.
team orders at Pentacore on her. Jack
Is
Coffey
Greg
well ahead of
going to be
Mia in the
catching
championship.
Jack Coffey though? As
Elle
Elle
comes into
Pitts,
That's very early.
this is strategic. Maybe those
We'll
tyres
get them.
got flat spotted. Jack
They'll
Gray
get them
gets
out of all
past
the
Dan
chaos.
finally, and Alp gets past Mia. This has been threatening for a long time. Ben Scott Evans is running in 8th for Skev Motors. That's a lot of fuel going into that car.
Long middle stint.
Yes. Meanwhile, Jack Coffey is definitely catching.
So, we'll assume, we have no idea what strategy Alex is on, right? But we'll assume he
Yeah.
has one stop left to go. It might
Yes.
be 2, but I feel like he would convert to a one stop left from that position.
Yeah.
Elle is behind Alex.
Lewis
well
Pitts
behind
as
Alex.
well.
Alex is very much still in the race for this win.
Ileana's made her way up to 12th. Right ahead of Alex, actually, who's got past
Alex.
Ollie. Lewis does 7.6. So Jack Coffey's been catching this whole lap.
Rapidly. A second
Again,
a lap
turns out
nearly.
Greg has really been catching. Greg has pulled away from Jack Gray.
Mia Hart's
Dan
been
is
defending.
under pressure from Alp who pits.
So not a heavy fuel load for the Alfa
Hmm.
Romeo.
That's rather damning. Let's see how long the middle stint's going to be. There's a new set of gridlocks go on.
Where will he be relative to Alex and Elle?
Alex is
Alex
through.
already well through.
Elle is overtaking Chris through Junsao. Of course, you get a fast runner and the Senna S's. Lock up from Elle though.
That might let Chris back through.
Will and Alp comes out ahead of the both of them. Probably would have done anyway.
That's worked out quite well.
Jack
for Alpha.
Coffey is
Got a clear
right on
track
the
in
back
front
of
him.
Mia Hart.
I don't know whether the Pentacoran team have discussed this situation. They're not allowed to communicate with them about it in the race, so
So that
And
seems to
Jack
be a
Coffey
good
bet.
solution. Minimise your total race time.
and hopefully come out ahead of Al if all goes well with the split stop.
I'd be surprised if not, as Alba
I think the undercut's quite strong here. Like
going
we've seen
down
it with
the
just how
inside
many.
at Junsao and Daisy. This is currently the battle for 6th on track.
Ben Scott Evans having such a strong race.
Ollie, Salma, Elise. Yeah, Alp is a long way behind Elise now. Jack Coffey came back out in 11th, right ahead of
that whole group
Ileana.
of cars.
That is an important position to keep. That is enabling a big undercut. Daisy gets past Ben Scott Evans. Meanwhile, Greg is only 1.2 behind Mia Hart.
He's rapidly catching, and he's not
Don't forget,
lacking in
Greg
fuel
led
load.
for about 50 meters. Greg pits.
Okay, he's lacking a bit in fuel load, but to be honest, the way Greg was moving up early on, I thought he was one of the lightest cars.
This is very good sign for Mia Hart.
I think if Dan is on that one stop, they'll be feeling really happy about this too, because they're only 7 seconds off the lead.
Yeah. New set of grid tyres going on.
Looks like quite a long stop.
Yeah, Alex is has climbed all the way back up into 8th. Is Alex on the back of the Ben Scott Evans battle? Yes. Lewis is out! Lewis's engine's blown up. 2nd race in a row.
He's had all of the bad luck at that
Jack
team, hasn't
Coffey
he?
is easily through.
But Greg does come out importantly ahead of Ileana.
Look at the gap that Jack made over Ileana in this one lap.
Of course, Alex has also made his pit stop, and he's well ahead of all of these.
Alex is massively out of sync, though. Don't forget, Alex was leading by a couple of seconds when he came
Yeah,
in.
but when he came in, he had already lost all that time to the problem.
And
like,
he's
everyone
not
was side by
really
side.
been battling that much.
It all depends on how well Alex can keep his tyres in condition. and
if
whether he
can
has to stop
clear
twice.
Alba and Daisy here.
Absolutely. But he's in a good position. He's still fighting
Ben
for
Scott
this one.
Evans has had a Ben's tyres have gone.
Those rippers have really suffered with tyre degradation this season.
Let's hope there's no rippage. Alba gets past Daisy. Does Alex do the same? Yes. Jack Coffey briefly setting the new fastest lap there. Bronwyn pits. So
with
Mia
Mia Haart
Haart
still-
leads by 4.5. Daisy got past Alex again.
If Mia can go just a few more laps out front, like, she could be on a one-stop too here.
19 is half distance, so yeah.
And indeed, I'm surprised that Jack Gray's still out there. Because, like, he's got really good pace, but he's clearly, like, was carrying a lot more fuel than some of his rivals.
So Jack Coffey has now caught Elise. Which
Not
really
many
helps
overtaking
Greg.
opportunities through here. It's all going to be
No,
about
but you are
who's gonna
heading into
exhaust
Jinsao.
It's going to want a really good slipstream. That Skeffler just not
that
the
is a good
quickest car in a
slipstream.
straight line. But the Pentacorn hasn't always been either.
Should be through here?
Let's see what happens under the braking zone. And Jack Coffey comfortably through.
Yeah. Alex not able to pass Daisy.
This is about his best opportunity to. If he can't get through here, he'll probably have to wait until the
Well,
start
this
finish
is where
straight
Daisy
again.
got back past last lap. But Alex is through now. The two Selwens are running 17th and 18th. First time they've both been in a race in quite a while. Wait, where's Jack Coffey gone? Oh, got up to 8th.
Jack Coffey P8.
Yes, Mia Haart pits. So Jack Gray will not officially lead a lap. Daniel pits the same lap.
Let's see what their fuel loads are, because this could be either a short middle stint or fueling to the end. Jack Gray going the longest of the leaders.
Mia Haart's
I was not expecting that. This looks long.
10
very
seconds
long.
of fuel. That's probably
She's fueled
one
to the
stop.
end.
Dan, meanwhile,
It's going to be a big effort to get those tyres to the end. With a car that heavy as well.
Identical
They're
pit
both
stop
fueled to the
time.
end. I absolutely believe that Dan can do it, but
Jack Coffey overtaking Daisy, maybe? No.
no. Daisy now the only car between himself and Alex.
Greg's on this as well. Alex stuck behind Alba, who is in 3rd.
So Jack Gray is now our race leader, and certainly one-stopping. Is he favourite to win this race?
I wouldn't say so.
It's a long way to go, but he's comfortably pulling away from Mia.
Is that
And
the first lap he's officially led? Daniel and
I
Ileana
think it might
battling.
be.
Daniel through.
It's going to
Alba
be
pits.
interesting to keep an eye on what kind of pace Dan and Mia Haart are running once they get up to speed, because they've got a lot of fuel
Jack
on board.
Coffey
Is he
gets
still holding
through.
that place? No.
But Daisy's now holding the place up from Greg, potentially, but Greg could have a really
Hey.
good run into 4.
That move cost Daisy on the exit of 4, or the exit of 3, so
Yeah, Greg gets through as well.
a nice move from him.
Alba comes out of the pits after only an 8-second stop. That looks like a 2-stop fuel load to me.
That releases Alex now, so Alex up to 3rd place.
Yes. With Jack Coffey and Greg only 2 seconds behind.
And they've got much pressure.
Alba
on them.
versus Chris on the exit.
Chris has recovered quite well after 2 spins. I know he
Yeah.
hasn't pitted yet, but he's not in a bad position.
So Jack Gray's still going, as is Mia.
honestly, the longer Jack Gray goes out here, the more it's looking like he's a real
So
force
Jack
to be
Gray,
reckoned with.
Mia, Daisy, Ileana, and Elise have not pitted so far of the top 12. Neither has Chris.
These Omega tires, the Slim Pagan team running, they haven't looked so good this season.
Well, none of the
They
top
look like the
cars
tires
have
to
been
have
running
right
them.
now. It's true, and like Slim Pagan have had all kinds of reliability issues so far, but this is the kind of pace that, well, not quite this pace, but I was expecting a lot from them this season, and
Yeah.
it's definitely showing it today.
It seems like the threat of rain we had at the start of the race isn't going to materialise. So we expect it to be dry from here on out after we had a wet qualifying session. And Jack Gray is getting close to lapping Sauber. 18 cars still running. Here after half distance.
Mia now 10 seconds adrift of the lead.
There's
Definitely
no
doesn't look like
real
she's in a
battles
position to
going
win
on,
this.
apart from Alba and Chris.
Alba's
Chris
got much
dropping
fresher
back here.
tyres, of course.
Bronwyn has fresher tyres than Elise. Can't really do much from here, and again, the Skev Motors is so fast in a straight line. Although Elise hasn't pitted, and we are at half distance, could be pitting here. Jack Gray is maintaining the gap to Alex.
Of course,
So that's
Alex's
Elise
tyres
and
aren't
Chris both
much
pitting, making their
fresher,
first
but
pit stops.
it's just...
This is a really impressive drive from Jack Gray.
If he keeps
Coming
going
into
around
the pits here, there we go.
exactly half distance then, so...
Will Mia follow him in?
I wouldn't be surprised if Mia keeps going a bit longer. Like,
Yes. Following round. And does not lead the lap. Jack Gray officially leads the lap.
she definitely looked like she had a heavy car
9.9
early.
for Elise. 10 for Chris. Mia
In,
takes the lead. Alex pits.
in hindsight, when Mia and Alp were battling, Mia probably should have let Alp go.
So is this Alex's only pit stop, do we think? Or only remaining pit stop? Let's see
I
the
think
fuel load.
I don't think it makes sense to do anything other than fuel to the end from here.
9
Definitely
seconds,
fueling
that's
to
an
the end.
end fuel. Yeah. Okay, so that is a very good recovery from Alex.
His pace after that issue was honestly brilliant. Like he undercut everyone. Even though it's not the optimal strategy, like while everyone else was battling, he was just setting good laps.
I forget, what happened to El?
That's just where they've ended up. Like they pitted very early.
Oh, is
and they've
there
ended
slight
up...
amounts of dampness on the track?
It looks like it to me. Is it just in that part of the track?
Maybe. Let's go on board with Ollie, yeah.
Rain can appear suddenly from various directions here. This track is between two large
Ileana
lakes.
comes out, hence the name. Ileana comes out just behind Salma. Mia has gone round another lap. Daisy now pits. Jack Gray is running in fourth after the pit stop.
He's ahead of Mia Hart. Mia Hart still has to stop
I
again.
think everyone ahead still has to stop.
Yeah, like Mia definitely does. Jack Coffey and Greg are only a few seconds ahead. You can see them in the front of the picture just there. So Jack Gray is surely our net leader.
This would be an incredible result.
Dan's also fuel to the end, and a lot of the cars in front are in their pit window. So they're still in contention for a podium here. Probably not the win.
No, I think Jack and Dan are the only two fuel to the ends currently of the top 7. Mia
And Mia
finally pits.
Mia Hart is
Oh
as
yes,
well. Probably.
Mia finally pits.
Mia Hart's definitely in the race for the lead as well. She's only
I wonder,
3
given
seconds
the
behind
like,
Jack.
small
Jack
amounts
Gray.
of rain that are on the track, is there any chance he goes to Inters?
Maybe.
No. Sticking with slicks.
I don't don't think anyone's expecting this rain to be significant, but
No, 9.4. Where
the weather is very
Dan
unpredictable
going
here.
to be? No, Dan will not be ahead of Mia. How about Alp, though? Greg is
Alps still has to stop again, but
is a tenth off Jack Coffey for the lead. Yeah, it is slightly damp, the track. So
what it looks like to me, tyre wear is less of a factor than expected, and the one stop as a result is a way better strategy than the two stop.
this is a thing. Mia one stopped, Alp is two stopping, and did not manage the undercut.
Mia's fueled to the end,
Yeah.
and with that, and with her cold tyres, she's really going to hold Alp up through the sector if she doesn't let him through.
Alp's tyres are quite old though at this point. As L has crashed!
Yet again, a failure to finish.
It's another
That's more like
technical
a technical
failure.
problem.
Suspension for L. Still yet to see the checkered flag in Formula Omega.
This is their 9th Grand Prix. Maybe it's 10th time lucky for them. So Greg's still unable to pass Jack Coffey. These two have been nose
Neither
to tail
of
for a
these
while
two
now.
are fueled to the end, are they? There is Jack
No,
Gray.
and
Alp pits
Jack
now.
Gray's catching them, I think. And if Jack Gray
Whereas
wasn't
they're
catched before, they're going to have to
battling,
negotiate
and
lap
Elise
times
is
now.
holding them up, yeah.
And Jack Gray's rapidly pulling away from Mia Hart, who's also fueled to the end. Like, he is seriously favourite to win this.
Yeah. Alp comes out of the pits. Down. Oh, wow. That's a long stop as well. Oh, is that... Oh, that was a lockup from Bowman. Alp comes out of the pits down in 13th.
13th.
Behind
Ow.
Ollie.
They didn't have the pace early to make a two-stop work.
Oh, there is
The
definite
spray
rain
now.
there. Alp on slicks. This could really benefit the one-stoppers, or like the ones who are going late two-stop if they're forced to pit.
Honestly, I
This
think
part
Alp
of the
should have
track
taken a
seems
gamble
pretty
upon
dry,
Intus,
though.
given the position he's in.
Greg gets past Jack Coffey.
Looks like it's turn 4.
Yeah. Elise has been I think helped facilitate that. Ooh, it's definitely seeming to be slightly slippery out there.
Let's see a replay of that pass for the lead.
Yeah.
So this is in the wet part of the track, so it's very brave if Greg did it under braking there.
It was on the run-in, I
Perhaps
think.
Jack Coffey taking it.
No, it was.
Coffey taking it a bit cautiously.
Oh yeah, Jack
Ooh.
tried to defend the inside line, then take the outside line. That just poor strategy.
It was anything but taking it cautiously, wasn't it?
Yeah. Jack Gray gets through Elise. So it seems to be just turn 4 that's wet, really. Alp still behind Ollie. The lead is approaching Chris now. I still have no clue how this race is going to finish. It's getting a lot wetter down here, down there. So
Yeah,
don't forget,
like-
Greg and Jack Coffey still have to pit. We believe.
I think Jack Gray clearly first, but second place on the podium is like completely up in the air
Well,
the way
if
things
Jack,
are now.
if Jack
Like,
Gray has to pit for tyres, we're hearing Jack
Absolutely,
Coffey
like-
is pitting this lap. The whole
Potentially
middle
going for that
sector's
undercut.
wet now.
I think Jack Coffey should definitely, even if they're expecting it to dry up, like consider intermediates, because there would be the quicker tyre with that amount of water on the track. Because we weren't expecting anything more than like a few light showers maybe in this race, and those didn't look like they were coming. Like, this is a complete surprise to everyone.
Ooh, and Greg goes through Chris. Let's see Jack Coffey's pit stop, because it's wet in the pit lane as well. Let's see what tyres go on here. Looks like
And
it's
it is
still
the
the
slicks.
slicks. Maybe they're expecting it to lighten?
I think everyone is, but no one was expecting this much rain in the first place. You can even see a few puddles of standing water in places now.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to get really treacherous for everyone that's out of the slicks, and that is everyone.
Yeah, let's just go through the grid and make sure. Yeah, everyone is indeed on the slick tyres.
Well,
Jack
if it
Gray
keeps
is
getting
past
wetter,
us.
that's going to get very interesting. Like, the last thing Jack Gray wants, is more rain here, because he's got to get those tyres to the end. If they have to pit for wet tyres, that
I mean,
means that...
it's similar for Mia and Daniel. And Alex, of course.
Like,
I'd
Greg,
say
knowing
that-
that he has to stop again, he wants it to keep raining. Because if they
Yeah.
both have to pit for wets, he's net in the lead.
I'm almost tempted to call this a race between Jack Gray and Jack Coffey for the lead. Or for the win.
We'll see. Jack Coffey has to get past Alex, Dan, Mia, and Mia Hart, all of which don't have to stop.
Yes. But it was more thinking those are the two most likely
Alex
right now.
is right on the back of Dan now. Alex has closed that gap. It was 5 seconds.
Yeah,
So Dan is struggling
Dan
with this
hasn't had
race.
good pace the whole race, to be honest.
Even early on, it looked like they were being outperformed by their teammate.
It's been the case the whole weekend, though. Let's see what tyres Alba's putting on. Still slicks. Slow stop as well. Ben is also putting
Got
slicks on.
Evans. Yep.
Ollie
Has
is
to
coming
wait
in
for
now.
Ollie.
Nope, slicks.
The battle for third place, Mia, who pitted a lot later than Mia Hart, has been closing
Yes.
that gap up. And she's
Jack
nearly
Gray is
within a
right on the
second.
back of Greg.
Is he going to get a good run down the Retro Boston?
And they're catching the Selwens. That's one of them going very wide. That
That's going
is
to compromise
Bronwyn.
both of them potentially.
Jack has definitely been hurt by that a lot more. Alex gets past Dan. Who?
And
Jack
that's
Coffey
Jack
as
Coffey.
well. Dan is
Jack
really
Coffey with a
struggling.
much better tyres. Like, I don't think Dan has any chance of keeping this behind.
Yeah, Dan is really struggling.
Alex going past would have been painful though.
As it stands, I believe this puts Greg into the championship lead. Alex is 20 points behind going into this race, so I don't think they're too concerned.
Currently, as it stands, Dan would be leading by 1 point over Greg.
However, we fully expect Jack Coffey to go through. Greg pits, so that is no longer the case.
Jack Gray resumes the lead. Mia Hart now right on the back of Mia, or Mia right on the back of Mia Hart.
Indeed. And goes through.
You can see a dry line starting to appear, so everyone that didn't put on the inters, which is everyone, will be feeling pretty good about their choice.
Greg's 6.3. Selma, meanwhile, pits.
Quick stop. I think Greg's going to be the quickest car out there now. But a light fuel load, obviously, not far to go to the end.
Greg, but
Fresher tyres
definitely
than anyone
behind Jack
else.
Coffey, though.
Yes. He's got a lot of cars to overtake, but he is racing for a podium now.
Daisy, meanwhile, had a pretty good race.
She's had a really solid
Yeah,
ride
you can
today.
see the dry line all the way down the outside there.
Like, she was very much outperformed by her teammate in qualifying, but in terms of race pace, she's been consistent, kept it out of trouble. She's in the points. I don't think the polite Puffins could ask for more.
Could ask for Maggie still being in the race.
Well, yeah. And from the 66 car, they couldn't ask for more.
Yeah. Jack Coffey, will we get a good run off Jinsao? Again, the Pentagon not that good in a straight line, but neither is the Frozen Light.
And the issue is that Jack will have to go into the wet part of the track to overtake.
Yeah, as you
There's
can
a clear
see
dry
here,
line appearing. Like, it's going to make overtaking a lot harder.
Dan is pulling away, actually.
And
Oh!
there's Greg!
Greg! Greg makes the overtake on the outside by being on the dry part of the track. Let's see a replay of that from...
I was
So
not
Greg
expecting
was-
to see Greg
I
appear
didn't
there.
think Greg was there at all. Where's he come from?
I think he'd caught them both up through the middle sector. But I don't think Jack Coffey was looking at his mirrors. Like, he wasn't expecting anyone to be behind him at all.
That also explains why he didn't have a chance to move to the back behind Dan for the slipstream. It's a lovely move. Will Jack have a go down the rest of Apostolo?
Looks like the DLP's probably got a bit better straight line speed.
Yeah, and there's just no line there.
You're not going to beat Greg under braking on that line.
Now, Dan will defend incredibly hard against Greg.
In some ways, the two of them both going off is almost better than Greg getting past.
Yeah, especially considering... I disagree with Alex one position ahead.
That's true, it's true. But Dan has very little reason not to get aggressive, though.
Mia is slowly catching Jack Gray.
Yes, her late pit stop is really paying off here.
Will Jack Coffey get a run on Greg out of Jinsao though? So again, Greg having to go to the wet part of the track.
Nice slipstream from Jack Coffey, but he's just got nowhere to go with it.
Except down the inside of Dan.
And they lose
Dan
two
loses
places in
two
one
places
corner.
in that corner, yeah.
Look how little grip they have. Like, just in the space of, like, the next corner, they've already lost about 5 car lengths. They're going to have to be worried about Daisy behind at this rate. I think Daisy's quite a long way behind. Not that far.
Gained 1.3 seconds in that sector.
And of course, Albon a 2-stop in 9th place. Like, oh, they're a long way.
yeah,
actually a long way behind.
There's only 7 laps remaining.
This has been
Albon
disappointing
to score a point for
throughout-
Aquilea.
throughout.
Then just
After
out.
that qualifying, I think she'll be happy with it.
Jack Gray starts lap 32.
I think relative to Mia, Jack Gray is doing a good enough pace to not be caught. Like, Mia needs to be more than a second a lap quicker. And while she's a bit quicker, she's definitely not doing that.
Of course, Dan will want, as they... lapping Elise definitely opened up the gap between Greg and Jack Coffey there. I don't see Greg catching Alex, to be honest.
Let's see, I think Greg is going to be the fastest car on the track, but Alex isn't exactly going slowly. Mia's really stuck in traffic now. I think this might have been what caused Mia to gain on Jack Gray in the first place.
But between Iliano and Bronwyn.
And they're just not being cooperative at all.
Being unlapped as Selma spins off. Nicely going again.
Hasn't cost her too much time.
Running last.
So you can see how much time Mia's lost.
3
3 seconds in the middle sector. Because these two are having an incredibly intense battle over 13th place.
And I mean,
The last thing Mia wanted was to be in the Netherlands.
Mia's back past Bronwyn. Greg.
Greg
not really
is catch. What
not
were
fast
their last
enough
lap
for me.
paces? Because the way I look at it,
109.8
Greg was
for Greg. I've just lost it.
Okay, I think the way I saw that, Greg was a second faster than Alex and on to catch him by the end of the race.
Maybe.
We'll see. There's a long way to go, and
I
Alex
think
might pick up the pace
Dan
when he
would
sees.
prefer them finish this way round. Does this give Pentagon the lead of the Constructors' Championship? With Frozen Light only scoring 4 points?
Pentagon on to score 18, which I think is less.
Yeah.
With Frozen Light having a 22-point lead, like Pentagon
It'll
really
be very
needs both cars on the
close.
podium.
5 laps remain. Alex not gaining
Alex,
on Mia Hart,
yeah.
but Greg is definitely gaining on Alex.
That's an incredible middle sector from Alex, from Greg there.
Freshest tyres on the grid. This is going to be close.
We were expecting this to be the perfect conditions for the gridlock tyres. Like, we came into this race extremely confident, but there's no one running, like, the only car running gridlocks in the top 6 places is Mia.
Yeah. But this will continue the trend of just alternating 1-2s between grid and gridlock.
With the way the Tyres Championship works, it will actually give them the Tyres Championship lead back, because it's Omega who are on to win it.
Oh yes, I forgot that.
So perhaps this isn't such a disappointing performance for Gridlock as I thought.
Yeah, you've got Omega, gridlock, and then like 4 grids, and then you get a whole ton of gridlocks again. Greg getting past Chris now. That won't have helped his run at Jinsal.
I think next lap will be the first time that Greg gets a chance to properly attack Alex.
Is Mia Hart catching back up to Mia?
Mia's lost a lot of time behind early on. It's like 7 seconds to her.
I think the early one stop didn't work today.
No,
The
but
one that both Mia and Daniel did.
The 2 stops haven't worked either. But like everyone that was on like looked good early, as they always.
I mean, Alex 2 stopped.
It's a big surprise just how many of those cars that looked in a good place early on have been completely out of contention.
Well, 4th, 5th and 6th also all 2 stopped.
Like Alp hasn't had any issues this
Alp
race.
didn't
They just
really
ended up
look in
P9.
contention at any point.
If they had as much feel as we thought.
Well, Alp was battling with Mia.
Look how much more grip that DLP has.
Yeah.
Can Greg get a good run off Jinsal? Looks like the think against quick enough there. This might be quite difficult for him.
Yeah.
They've got a long slipstream.
Oh
there.
no, they've already caught way up. No, through before the line.
With 3 laps to go, I don't think Mia Hart is out of sight for Greg either. Like, as I said, he's racing for a podium here. As he was
Still
saying, he always
Ileana
is.
and Bronwyn in the way.
It's true, and they are
Battling still.
particularly troublesome to get past.
Jack Coffey's sitting 6th.
You can see how much time they cost Mia Hart. She was only 3 seconds behind Mia, but now that gap's out to 6, as she had to get past those 2.
Oh, Jack Gray catching Ben Scott Evans in 11th.
His first win is in sight. And to be honest, he's had the pace over everyone.
He really has. We were saying
Kept it close
before
to the leaders
race,
early.
that we were kind of disappointed with Jack Gray's performance so far, but this is definitely changing that.
They've had a
Albon
lot
on
of
the back of
reliability issues, but now they've got those sorted. Like, this is the Jack Gray that we saw glimpses of last season.
Yeah. Salmon Elise battling for 16th. Iliano is out.
Iliana, that'll make Greg happy. That's one less car to get past.
Plus, still yet to see the checkered flag this season. Daisy, I mean, catching Dan, but nowhere near quick enough. I think Dan has been battling Chris for quite a while. and they're not even on the same lap. Yeah, Greg is stuck behind Bronwyn.
I think,
I think Mia's out of range.
yeah. Especially with Ron defending the dry line like that, I might put Alex back in the place to a challenge.
Yeah. Will Alex get a good run off Junsao?
Jack Gray starts the final lap of the race.
This is going to be easily the longest, easily the largest winning margin of the season.
Had a long run of very small winning margins. Like, we haven't seen anyone win like this in a while.
When was the last one of 10 seconds plus?
I think it was Alex's incredible win at Monaco last season, where he won by 69 seconds.
Yes, it would as Bronwyn pits.
It's a strange decision, must be a problem.
Electrical problem, I believe. So, Jack Gray now. Coming through Junsao for the final time. Coming up to the
What
line
an
here.
incredible drive.
And Jack Gray delivers himself, Slim Pagan, and the Omega Tyres their first ever Formula Omega victory. Speaking of tyres, Ollie is out of the race with a puncture. Ben Scott Evans finishes just out of the points in 11th. Mia gets second place for Alfa Romeo, their customary one podium for the season. Mia Hart third for Pentacoron. Greg fourth. Won't be too disappointed with that. Alex, very incredible recovery to fifth. Jack Coffey will be sixth to give another good result for Pentacoron. Daniel, seventh, retains the championship lead. Chris Rowe finishes 12th. Daisy with a good 8th for Polite Puffins. Salma will finish a race for the first time in ages to finish 13th. Alba 9th. Alp will be 10th as Bronwyn just holds off Elise.
There's a better lap down.
Yes. As we see Jack Gray go through one last time. Thank you everyone for watching the Brazilian Grand Prix.